Yep.
Gotcha. Good morning, afternoon, sorry. I am TJ Martin. I'm the founder of Hope for Hooligans. And this is a brand new organization. We just received our 501c3 January 9th of this year. And Hope for Hooligans slogan, motto, whatever you want to call it, is helping youth with the opportunity to reach their full potential and be empowered for life. I'm the founder, however, I am not the visionary for this. My son, David McGinnis, who's actually in the Bloomington area known as Buddy the Hooligan McGinnis, was actually the visionary for this. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about his story and why Hope for Hooligans is now my passion, as it was my son's vision. He was born October 18th of 1989 and always wore his heart on his sleeve, very quiet, soft-spoken, but he was also a prankster. So it's a picture of him with his ball python he had, and in preschool, his teacher told him they could bring their pets to school for show and tell. But he told her, I want to bring mine. She goes, okay, and what's your pet? He goes, it's a surprise. Yeah, she called me, and she's all like, I said, did he tell you what his pet is? No. And I told her, and she goes, oh my. And I said, well, we don't have to do it. Oh, no, I already told him he could. So he got to do that, and that never left him. This is a picture of him taken a few years back in Peoria, which is where I'm from. They had these metal sculptures all over town. He made his girlfriend stop on the side of the road so he could hurry up, run out, hop on one, and get his picture taken. She's like, I really thought the cops were going to show up. So always a prankster. But he was also a sports person. He did football, wrestling. He actually attended Normal West, so he is a Bloomington hometown boy. Always into sports. I'm really glad I wasn't there the day he took the skateboarding picture. I might have had a little bit of heart failure that day. He was also an outdoors person, so loved anything to do with water, camping, fishing, hiking. He was getting ready to take the kids on a hike in that one picture. And very much, even though he never had any children, he was very much a kid's person. Loved all of his nieces and nephews and was a fantastic big brother. This is my youngest. I have his, mine, ours, and adopted, and this was our ours. He's 14 years younger than his closest sibling. So we started all over again. He'll be 14 this year. This was Buddy teaching him how to box. So graduated high school. He did not graduate from Normal West because he moved, but he was always a Bloomington guy at heart. And about the time he hit his senior year, Buddy started fighting MMA. And that is where the Hooligans in Hope for Hooligans comes from. He was the hooligan. And many, many people here in the Bloomington area know who Buddy is. He was very successful. He went undefeated, 25-0 before he lost his first fight. Wow. So very passionate about it. And once again, even in his fighting career, he was all about the kids. That top left-hand picture, he's headed over to that little guy that, just wants to get to give a high five or a handshake to one of the fighters. Picture on the right, all those guys that are holding all of his belts up, he was coaching and training each of those children to be future MMA fighters. So he's always about the kids. But Buddy also was fighting the demons of addiction. And this is where Hope for Hooligans comes into play. He was arrested the first time at the age of 17, selling drugs so he could afford his drugs. Unfortunately, that battle took him down a long, dark road, and it got really dark 6 years ago when he lost his father to colon cancer. And him and his father were very, very close, and his dad was his biggest fan and cheerleader in his fighting career. And he ended up with what they call drug-induced schizophrenia or drug-induced psychosis. He battled that for a long time. Last year, we finally had him doing well after 2 attempts to end his own life because he didn't want to hear the voices anymore. Typical schizophrenia, I guess, cycle, gets on his meds, doesn't hear the voices, thinks he's great, stops taking his meds because, hey, I don't need them, I'm all good. Nope, not all good. He'd go back to hearing the voices. He was just tired of that vicious circle that he was in. We finally got him the help he needed, got him on a good antipsychotic medication, and then we were talking about launching Hope for Hooligans. He was about to be promoted at work, but with any addict, it's a lifelong battle with the cravings. Even if you're clean, you still crave. I smoked 30 years ago. If I get really stressed, believe it or not, I still crave a cigarette once in a great while. So totally understand that. Rather than going to his doctor and saying, hey doc, I'm dealing with cravings, he went out on the street and got methadone from somebody because in his mind, that methadone had helped him before with his cravings. So on July 18th, 2023, he got ready to go to bed. He worked third shift, took his methadone, thinking he was going to get up in a few hours, go to work on his third shift job like any other day. It was a toxic combination with his antipsychotic. It shut down my son's central nervous system, and he never woke up. So I decided that Hope for Hooligans, more than ever, now needed to come to pass. It needed to be launched, and it needed to be out there. My passion and my vision for Hope for Hooligans is that if I can prevent one mama from losing their baby like I did, it'll all be worth it. Currently, we're in developmental stages. I'm working with a couple of drug rehab coaches and counselors, and we are putting together a course that'll be between 12 and 14 weeks long. Not quite sure yet, because like I said, we're developing. It's going to talk about, we're going to help them with anti-drug and alcohol, dealing with peer pressure. We all know that a lot of the drug and alcohol use comes from peer pressure. Helping them with mindset, goal setting, conflict resolution. I'm involved with a personal development organization, Peoria, called I've Decided. They have a great program that talks about the pieces of the puzzles of success. That will be implemented in the course as well. And then we're going to have a parents module that will help them with implementing a parent-child contract. That contract will be signed between the parent and the child. It will be, you can call me anytime, night or day, no questions asked, no ridicule if you need help. If they get themselves in a situation where they went to what they thought was going to be a fine party, find out parents aren't there, it's a drug and alcohol fest, they can call mom and dad and say, I need you to come get me now. The parents module is going to then give the parents the next steps of what they need to do if that contract's put in place. The next steps of, okay, how did you get here? How can we prevent it from happening again? What are our next steps? So that will be the course. The big picture, Buddy's second greatest passion was gaming. He originally wanted Hope for Hooligans to end up being a gym where he would teach kids the discipline of MMA. I don't really have the ability to do that. I mean, I probably could, but especially considering that we want one center to start off with here in Bloomington, his hometown, and then a second one in Peoria, which is my hometown. Peoria youth do not need to know how to fight. They do that all on their own very well. And I don't trust not them using the skills that they would learn in a good way. So we pivoted, and now we are looking at putting together esports and community centers. So the centers will have a gaming room, a workout room, a music room, a gym. We're going to do computer classes. We will have our course available, of course. That course, by the way, will end up being available online as well, because I want Hope for Hooligans nationwide. So eventually, the course will all be available for youth pastors, homeschooling parents, schools, any youth organization that would like access to it. It will be available so that kids can learn, so kids can be empowered. We're going to have e-sporting tournaments and teach the kids software classes. And then we also plan to have counseling available for not only the students and the children, but the parents as well. Because dealing with a drug addicted child, you need all the help you can get, support mentally and emotionally. So this is the big picture and where we're looking at. I'm hoping to have the Bloomington facility open within the next 2 years. So I'm looking at it being by the end of 2025. And there's my boy. And I'm going to pass out business cards to everybody for my Do the Dream. I'm also a personal development coach, speaker, and an author. So I'll be passing those out, but you guys can get in touch with me at tj@dothedreamnow.com is my